Whatever it is.
All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Oldham County Fiscal Court. I'm David Vogel, Judge Executive. Happy to have you here today on the 2nd of April. If you're able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We've let some of our staff go early today because the state office is closed because of the weather forecast. So we don't know if a storm's going to come up during the meeting or whatever, but we're going to attempt to go forward. All right, I'm going to ask Allison Thompson, please call the roll.
Magistrate Likens.
Here.
Magistrate Tice.
Here.
Magistrate Woosley.
Here.
Magistrate Jeffries.
Here.
Jeffries. Magistrate Hounds.
Here.
Magistrate Hawkins. Here. Magistrate Dye.
Present.
Magistrate Logston.
Here.
Judge Vogel.
Here. Having all members of the fiscal court present, this meeting is now in session. Is there a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved.
Second. Are there any additions or deletions? I'm going to add down, we'll add it prior to the second public comment, MOU agreement between MSD and LaGrange Utilities. There's some issue possibly about printing that out for everybody, but if we get it printed out by the end of the meeting, we'll circulate it and discuss it and go forward from there. All right, is there a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Time now for approval of our minutes from our last meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes, sir.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Time now for public comment. The time during our meeting when, if anyone has come to address the fiscal court, is able to do so. We generally allow 4 minutes. Please step forward. We welcome Mayor Bob Rogers from Pee Wee Valley.
Thank you, Judge. The reason I'm up here is just to try to find out why the decision was made not to notify the public a couple Sundays ago. Who made the decision and why it was made. My phone's been ringing off the hook. You know, just something so a couple people who were taking a walk decide maybe we'll do this another day. Or for a parent to tell their kids, you know, come on inside and we'll do something else, or we'll go to grandma's. So that's why I'm here. I mean, I talked to Mike Logston, and Mike Logston said that Chris wouldn't tell him anything. So that I got no information that way. So that's just don't want that to ever happen again. You know, one person got buzzed by a drone on Maple Avenue. Searchlights from the helicopters around in people's backyards, and so that's why I'm here.
Okay. Well,
Can I ask what you're even talking about?
I'm
You
sorry.
completely lost me. I don't know what you're talking about. You weren't told
We had an
about
instance
something?
a couple weeks ago on a Sunday where they were, you know, from what I understand, they were pursuing someone who had stole a car, and the guy from Crestwood, he got.
Bob, they can't hear you in the back. Can you get closer to the mic?
They were pursuing someone with a stolen car, and he got out of the car and took off on foot before they could get there, so they didn't really have an ID on what he looked like. He broke into a house, stole some guns over on Stony Creek off Ash Avenue. I mean, the county had they had a bunch of police officers there. I commend them for coming but they were looking for him. They had a lockdown at the school at St. Aloysius on Monday. Same way with the Oldham County, South Oldham. And they found him on Monday afternoon walking down Ash Avenue. Somebody from the public called in to tip, and Chris Fitchner went down and followed up, and that's how they caught the guy. He hid some guns. one in Bob Wright's garage building over there, and then in one of the houses that he broke into. So he was a tough guy. I just want to see what the criteria is on letting the community know about it. If the same thing happens again, why the same, is it going to be different and why? I really don't like to hear about the people are going to overreact. When somebody's running around kicking doors in.
Right. I wasn't there, but I've asked a lot of questions about it, and I'm going to attempt to answer your question as I understand it, and then if anybody else wants to supplement that in some way or bring another perspective to it, they're certainly welcome. If not, everybody, I think you summarized it. We picked up, our cameras picked up a stolen car coming into the county a week ago Sunday night. And the police pursued the individual. He ran, ditched the car on Friendship Manor Drive, ran, eventually broke into a house on Stony Creek, I believe it was, changed clothes there. Apparently, while he was changing clothes in the closet, he came up with 3 guns he found there, left. The police, as soon as the guns were discovered, they immediately escalated the situation. And by the time the thing was full blown, let's say, searching for this person, we had 9 county officers there. There were 3 sheriff's deputies there, fire trucks, as I understand it, sirens, blue lights. The drone team was called out to help search for the individual. The Louisville police helicopter got involved. People started communicating with each other via Facebook with information, some of it accurate, some of it inaccurate. A lot of panic set into the neighborhood. What was going on was all of this happening. I would say, honestly, Mayor, in the 18 years that I've been involved in county government, and I don't know how long your track record is, maybe longer than mine, I've never, ever recall a situation similar to this where there was so much law enforcement, public safety focus in a very small area intensely like this. It's never happened before. So the people who are the commanders on the scene were, forced into possibly thinking about how is this going to be. I think the key element here that you're asking about, why wasn't this put on Facebook?
Why wouldn't it sit, not Facebook,
Right.
why wouldn't it sit
Or on our Smart 911,
Smart
or both.
911.
At that time of the day, I don't think we'd call the TV stations and tell everybody in Corydon, Indiana, we're looking for somebody in Pewee Valley. But there were a couple of communications paths that could have been opened that weren't, okay? In retrospect, I feel that if that's were to happen again, they should be used. I hesitate to jump on the people who were trying to make the call right at the time. I think the principal reason that it wasn't notified is that we had infrared photography out there in the sky trying to locate somebody running. If they had put out the notice, you would think that if you put out a notice to everybody, shelter in place, don't go outside. Well, maybe most wouldn't, but there are going to possibly be 4, 5, 6 people that say, I'm going to check my barn or I'm going to do something. And all of a sudden the infrared photography, wouldn't be able to follow.
Just making a comment like, the police are have a person of interest they're trying to pursue concerning a stolen car. That would have been,
Right.
at least they would have known.
I know. I mean, I'm trying to say why I believe that where the tipping point on that decision was about notifying or not notifying. I don't agree with the decision. I think the chief recommended, who was not able to be there that evening because of a personal circumstance, recommended that the commander on scene implement the Smart 911. They decided against it based on, I guess, conversations that he had with all the other responders there. In retrospect, I think we feel that it should have been put out and would not go that way again. But everybody, wants to know what happened. Well, that's basically what happened. The person was caught, fortunately, and I believe our people did a really good job. Yes, was probably a misstep made right in that instance. It won't. I don't think it'll happen again. We all learn a life's lesson from everything that goes on. So I think it's a fair question to ask, why wasn't this done? But I think the honest reason, as I understand it, is that they were trying to locate this person with the infrared photography and were afraid a lot of other targets would come up. Was it a good decision, a bad decision? We probably should have put out the notification and just had to live with more infrared response from the ground than what they were trying to have. But that's really the way it went.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. All right. Anybody else who was there want to add anything to that, or it's
I'd like to clear my name. It's not my decision. I was there. It was not my decision whether to send that to you later or not. So I don't know if that's information that you got, Bob. It was not my decision. It's never my decision to send something out like that, one way or the other.
We do have, I might add now, we do have the ability to target in, I didn't know this until all this happened, a new system that we're implementing is going to allow us to draw a circle or a bubble around a specific area when a life and death situation ensues, that we can notify every cell phone within that bubble. That is a system coming on board, and I believe we had that ability to some extent with the Smart 911. But that was, that was just just a misstep. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. In retrospect, we wish it wouldn't have gone that way, but it's a lesson that everybody learned, and we'll have to just go forward with it. And I think everybody's out there did a great job in trying to protect the neighborhood, but certainly left, a door open, if you will, in regard to what was going on. And all the questions that were asked were very reasonable. I mean, I'd want to know too. And but I think that's the best answer we can give, Mayor.
Judge.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
Which one?
I'm familiar with what the situation is, but I'm just going to say that from what I understand, the first responders, be it police, sheriff, or whoever, EMS, I have to believe those are professional people. They know what to do and what to do right. They certainly wouldn't do anything wrong. Every situation is different, but I commend them on the work that they did. And I'm not going to sit here, and I'm not taking a shot at anybody, but I'm not going to Monday morning quarterback what they did or did not do. I feel that I was comfortable with what they did, and that's why I let it go right there.
Judge, I'd just like to make a few comments. Hindsight's 20/20. We can always look back and say, oh, well, we should have done that, should have done that. I think the Sheriff's Department, Oldham County Police did a wonderful job. I just think that the public just wanted to know just a little bit what was going on. I was standing out in my yard looking for the person also, because there was 5 deceased husbands that live around me. Their wives are sitting there worried about what was going on, didn't know anything was going on. And Sheriff's Department pulled down, and they just kind of stopped. I don't know if they were wondering who I was or what, was standing in the yard. So, communication travels so fast now. I mean, before you had or put out the press release of what happened the day after, it was already on Facebook. The people got it off the police website. So, there was just a couple of miscommunications. I know it won't happen again. Everybody needs to understand hindsight's 20/20. You always see things that you should have done after something's already happened. So I think our police did a wonderful job. Our sheriff's department did a wonderful job. And I'm sorry it happened, but there's nothing, you can't go back and change history. So that's where we are on it.
Okay, anyone else? All right, well, that's the best we can do, all right? But just keep improving the situation. And I'm proud to have our drone team, by the way. I mean, Rogers Group paid for that drone for us, and it's been drones, we have 2 of them, brought out on other occasions to search for people, to monitor the heat coming off fires and other things, so we're glad to have it. But we certainly all understand that people, there was a lot of activity in a small area, so people are going to be concerned. And I think Mike's right. The speed of communications is something that we all have a hard time, keeping up with. Something gets out and it goes like wildfire, and all it takes is to hit the share button on your Facebook or whatever, and suddenly every friend you've got's got it. And we've got our smart 911. Since we've had this, we've had several hundred people sign up for it that weren't signed up before. We're one of the most successful areas with that. Proportionately, many more people are signed up for it in Oldham County than Jefferson County. We've got about 22,000 people signed up, but we'd like to get 40,000. I mean, we'd like to get every cell phone and landline in this county on that system. And sometimes, unfortunately, it takes an incident to get people alert. So anyway, thanks for coming up and sharing your concern with us. All right, we'll go on now to the next item if there are no other public comments. And we've got our jail budget here. Is the Jeff Tyndall here, and he's going to present the jail budget. This is more or less a presentation, nothing we're going to vote on, but we're going to hear about it. So, okay.
First of all, I'd like to say, Mayor, Mr. Hulak is now in the custody and control due to the thanks of our county police officers, and he is in the county jail. He's being taken care of. So I just want to let everybody know we're safe now from this situation. Like the judge said, good afternoon. This is a standard that I have to do in April. I'm just presenting the jail budget. Last week I met with the judge, the deputy judge, Stan, and I met and turned in the budget and we talked about it, and today's just formality. If there's any questions, I can answer questions for you.
All right, I written down somewhere you sent the population. You happen to know the breakdown of the
I haven't done it
population?
today. I did do the average, the federal inmate average for the past 3 months has been 186 feds. And then we've had 35 county and 55 state and approximately 30 to 60, between 30 and 60 with Henry and Trimble.
All right, and do you work with the judges at all to try to get ankle bracelets on
Yes,
as
I
many
do.
local people as we can to
Yes,
free
I
up
do,
those
Judge.
beds?
We have a home incarceration program that, due to the space, we want to keep inmates that are felonies inside the jail. A lot of the misdemeanor charges, we have a contract with the courts, and we try to get them home incarceration so they can work.
How many Class D people do we have at this point? Do you know?
Class D, right now, it fluctuates. Right now, we have about 35.
Okay.
Out of the 50 inmates, there's about 15 waiting to go to prison. So I've got about 35, but their level has to meet a criteria to be able to work. The road department just lost one yesterday. We lose them at the first of the month, every month, due to good time and other reasons behind that. But I am trying to continue to build up our work detail program. We're trying to get Class D level 1s and level 2s. Those are the ones that can actually go outside in the community and work. I'm trying to get more of them.
Okay. I noticed that, we didn't cite any figures here, so I will for the public. Jeff expects the jail to cost us about $7.1 million to operate.
Yes, sir.
This coming year, and we anticipate our revenue to be about $6.7 million.
Correct.
So that leaves us short about $384,000, according to this budget. One time, I felt that our cash flow was exceeding our operating expenses, but we've slipped underwater here a little bit now. Is that because of the increased salaries that we're paying the staff, or some other reason?
We're at the 6-year mark of the jail being open, and there's equipment issues that we're jumping on now to make sure that they don't become bigger issues down the road. We have added more deputy positions, more transport positions. We have to have more positions to be able to keep up with our federal contract. Our federal contract, we'd like to add another employee to be for transport only. Due to some, federal inmates are also more dangerous inmates. And due to that, we have to have a bigger staff to be able to do the transports. Every time we do a transport, we have to at least have 2 officers with that federal inmate. Well, when you have Indianapolis and Louisville, that's taking 4 people out of our building. And we only have 1 full-time staff member right now and 2 part-time transport officers. So we have to pull staff from the floor that usually normally operate the jail to go do transports.
Okay, so you're saying the shortfall here is because of replacing capital items versus labor costs?
Correct. And there's been a 5% increase on food, and there's been a 4% increase on medical this year. I tried to talk to the food company, and they said that due to everything, prices going up, we have to charge more. They said looking at that, though, they don't see it to where it's going to be raised next year. But we are trying to continue to get the staff that we need for the jail.
All right. Thank you. And we're trying to increase our federal reimbursement for federal prisoners.
Yes, sir. We are looking at, right now, it's $57 a day per federal inmate. I'm requesting $73. It's got to be approved by the U.S. Marshals, but I feel pretty confident that we're going to get a huge increase.
Magistrate Jeffries.
Just a couple questions. I noticed on the, how many counties now are we taking prisoners to hold for?
I have contracts with 3. I have contracts with Henry, Trimble, and Scott. And there will be some complimentary holds every once in a while. Shelby County asked me to hold one yesterday, but I told them that I was going to have to charge a daily fee, and they changed their mind. Okay. There are some times where our inmates get, due to situation, we have to swap with counties.
Right.
But anybody that comes into the jail, we make them a paying customer.
And you're also looking at increasing the per diem per day for those prisoners that are coming from the other counties.
We increased it last year.
Okay.
We increased it from 35 and some change to 40. That was with Henry and Trimble. With the Scott County contract, it wasn't going to be as many people. They just brought us in 8 inmates 2 nights ago, and they pay us $46 a day. Okay. So,
all right, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Magistrate Tice.
About how many inmates are we averaging per day now?
We have 332 beds, and that's the number that I try to get every month. There's some days that will be at 340, and there's some days that will be at 320. Today, when I looked, there was 328. So I was 4 away, but I also have an inmate that's in the hospital that's not counting, and I send them out for medical leave. So it's always 332.
So we're staying full every day.
I stay full.
And you may not know the answer to this one. What is our bond payment every year? on that, and we're bonded out for how, what is our bond payment every year, and how many years have we got it bonded up for? And you may or may not know that.
I do not know that, but I'm.
Magistrate Tice, I know a little bit to be dangerous. It's 2 bond payments, and I don't know if the CFO has a number off the top of his head, but one goes for so many years, but it's about $1 million a year is what the bond payment is.
And how many years is that for, Stan, about?
It was 20 years, wasn't it? I mean, we should be down to about 14 years left.
Okay. Thank you.
Some of the questions, one of the things I asked the jailer to do several months ago, and he's been doing it on a monthly basis, is sending us that jail report that gets forwarded to everybody that has all the numbers of the inmate population in there. And that was part of the reason to ask for that information, so we would have it monthly.
I didn't send it yesterday, but it's in the
Hey,
process.
April Fools, I figured you just,
Exactly. That's good.
Well, we could be nice if we get a little bit more out of our neighbors. With their color, we're getting less than federal inmates for them, but they Henry County and Trimble skipped us and gone to Carroll. So you can't. That saying about getting blood out of a turnip is not that easy.
You have to find that balance between what you're, because we want the inmates.
Yeah.
The surrounding counties are still paying more than our state is. And if you raise it too high, Shelby County tried to raise theirs a significant amount. And these other counties said, we're going to go to another county. Right. So, and that's what they'll do. So raising it a little bit, but you, Mr. Likens.
Magistrate Likens.
Thank you, Judge. Those of us who've been sitting on court for quite a while, we remember when we were minus $1 million on our jail budget. $384,000 is kind of hard to swallow, considering where we were last year. But still, yet I think we're doing one heck of a job in our jail budget. So
I
thank you,
appreciate
Jeff.
that.
Make a motion to approve the jail budget.
Well, we actually don't approve this, Magistrate. This is just a presentation that he's made to us. He has to provide this to the state by, April 1st?
We have to present it in April.
Still
One
approve
of the questions yesterday that was brought up to me was what was the other equipment, and that's $20,000, and that's just for the new tasers that are coming out.
All right.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
just a quick one. And I know you'd said yesterday about that was that there might be some grants available
Yes,
that might
we're-
pick up
We
some
put
portion
it
of
in
that cost.
there just in case.
Right.
But there's grants that we're looking at to try to get them.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Jeff.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Next item on the agenda is a bid opening for the architectural services for the police headquarters that we have bought, or building we bought to make into police headquarters. So somebody have those bids? Oh, we got them right here, okay. They're not bids, they're actually a review of services for people. Got one from Brandsetter Carroll. Another one has come from J.K. Sharp Architects in Hopkinsville. And the third is from LMH Architects. And I know Brandsetter Keller is Lexington. And LMH is, I believe, Louisville, but I'm not positive about that. Anybody know for sure? All right, but we have three groups that we will be reviewing and choosing someone out of that group to discuss the architectural services in the police headquarters building in Crestwood.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
so I'm not on the committee that runs this, so we really haven't done anything yet. So we're just trying to pick an architecture right now.
Right,
don't-
we haven't done anything yet.
So we don't know how we want the rooms laid out or anything.
That's what this is all about, right. They'll be working with Chief Smith and myself and others to determine how we're going to lay that out. Next item on the agenda is county payables.
Make a motion that we pay the bills.
Second.
Are there any questions about the bills? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Now we're at contracts and resolutions, the award for the Wendell Moore Park Trails patching and resurfacing contract.
Good afternoon, Jim Silliman, Oldham County Engineer. The Wendell Moore Park Trails patching and resurfacing, it's a project that Engineering Department's been working with the Parks and Recreations Department to get completed. At the March 19th fiscal court meeting, which is our last meeting, you opened bids for this project, and after review of those bids and discussion of the contractor, we're asking that fiscal court award the bid to the low responsible bidder, who is Riverside Paving and Contracting, in the amount of $81,609.
Make that motion, Judge.
Second.
All right. Moved and seconded that we award the bid to Riverside.
Yes, sir.
All right. Discussion about it?
Question.
Yes, sir.
When was the last time didn't we work on this a few years ago, or is it just a constant maintenance?
The trails, no. We started looking at the condition about 2 years ago, and we hadn't placed a bid to have the work done. So this is it's a little over 2 miles of trails within the Wendell Moore Park. They're all existing trails to be patched and resurfaced.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
are these the trails that have already been asphalted before?
They're existing asphalt trails, yes.
I
Nothing new.
believe we did them when we first got here, Judge. Don't you remember that?
Yes, we've done them before.
Yeah, it's been about over 10 years, at least.
Well, that's prior to
You
my
were just-
tenure
you-
here,
you-
so.
You were still in high school, so.
Magistrate Howens.
That's to be completed this budget year?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Magistrate Hawkins.
Jim, will this accommodate a wheelchair?
Well, the trails themselves will be, they should be in an approximate grade to meet ADA compliance.
Okay.
All right. That being said, no other questions. We've got a motion here, I believe. No motion and second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. All right, we'll proceed on now with Road Committee recommendations.
And I'll preface this with the next 5 items have been to Road Committee for review and are coming to you with the Road Committee's recommendation. And all 5 are erosion control surety bond releases. The first is the McDonald's restaurant in Buckner Crossing, the new restaurant in front of Kroger. Their construction's complete, and based on inspections, they have been constructed in accordance with the approved plans. As such, we're requesting that the bond, which was a cashier's check in the amount of $10,108, be released.
Judge, I'll move that we release that $10,108 bond.
Second.
All right. Discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, we have Grand Oaks Section 4. This is a residential subdivision. It's 4 of 5 sections. Similarly, this has been constructed and completed in accordance with the approved subdivision plans. Therefore, we're requesting fiscal court release the surety in the amount of $30,000. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me correct that.
15.
There was a surety for $30,000. It was already reduced to $15,000. So we're requesting the remaining $15,000 be released.
And that's just on the Section 3?
This is Section 4,
Section 4.
erosion control.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
For $15,000.
I'll move that we release that $15,000 bond on Section 4 of Grand Oaks.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, so next we have Grand Oaks Section 5, and this is 5 out of 5 sections, and we're requesting this surety was also reduced already, so we're requesting the remaining amount of $19,650 be released.
Judge, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on this release? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, next we have Heather Ridge, Section 1, also a residential subdivision. And while it's Section 1, it's actually the last of 4 to be completed, and we're requesting release of the surety in the amount of $35,000.
Judge, I'll move that we release $35,000 on Heather Ridge, Section 1.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
So lastly, also with regard to Heather Ridge, and years ago when the subdivision was under construction, there was some issues with sediment being released to an adjacent subdivision pond. And a surety was established to protect that pond. The amount was $20,000. There have been some charges that were incurred, and the developer of Heather Ridge has paid the adjoining developer for the pond aerator and fish kill to address that. So with the construction of Heather Ridge complete and the pond costs that were incurred paid, we're recommending fiscal court release that $20,000 surety for what we call the pond bond.
I'll move that we release that $20,000 bond on the pond bond on Heather Ridge, Section 1.
Second.
Discussion, Magistrate Hawkins?
Jim, was the adjoining neighborhoods developer satisfied with the amount paid?
They actually submitted the bill for the costs incurred and
Okay.
confirmed that they received the payment. So
Okay.
they've been involved in this process.
Okay.
Magistrate Tice?
And I'd like to take this one point. The developer had asked for his bond released earlier on that pond, and I asked Jim to hold his position until we got the drainage the way it was satisfactory, and that we found out where we were on the pond, and I'll say thank you for that. Job well done.
You're welcome.
All right. Anyone else? All right. Motion made and seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item D, Parks Committee. Is Gary Parsons here? Is it?
Judge, I'm going to
Okay,
present
go
this.
ahead. Get Mr. Woosley.
The Parks Committee have reviewed this contract with various fireworks companies, and our recommendation is to go with the first option, which is the $18,000 one, with Barber Family Fireworks to be held on July 4th at Wendell Moore Park. This company is the same company we've used last year. They've also agreed to do the presentation along with McGill Media, which live streamed the event last year and turned out real nice for us. So my motion is to approve, allow you to sign this contract for $18,000 with Barber Family Fireworks
Second.
for July
Second.
4th fireworks presentation.
All right. Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on this? Magistrate Dye?
All right, you said the same one we used last year. Has the time frame, how long it lasts? There was some discussion about that last year.
18 minutes.
18 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Which is the norm for a fireworks show to
Right.
get your attention. Anything longer than that really will lose
Okay.
folks.
All right, just want to make sure that, that stayed within that realm.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
thank you.
All right. Fireworks are pretty much red, white, and blue, plus some other colors. This being the bicentennial year, I hope they'll, I don't know if there's a bicentennial emphasis you can put into fireworks, but if there is one, maybe they'll find it.
Show.
Okay. All right, so motion made, seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed?
Yes.
Motion carries 8-1. Now we're down to personnel items. First of all here, on item 1, this is in common, this should say on here, we're accepting the, okay. Okay, I got that one here and there, but we're accepting the resignation of Deputy Judge Joe Ender from the Planning Commission, but I would like to appoint Joe to take Kevin Nuss's place on the Oldham County Ambulance Taxing Board. So I'll make that recommendation.
Second.
Seconded. Okay, any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion,
No.
Motion carries, all right? 8-1. Next item, for the Code Enforcement Board, Mike Prather retired some time ago here, a couple of weeks ago. So I'd like to appoint in his place Dean Showalter for a term to expire on 6/18/25.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item, to reappoint Grant Abbott to the Tourism Commission for a term that would go on to April 2nd of 2027. For a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion carries. And then I'd like to appoint Blaine Anderson to the Tourism Board. Blaine would be replacing the person who has been the manager of the Holiday Inn in LaGrange. I apologize for that name escaping me right at the second. Do I have it here?
I'll second that, Judge.
Excuse me. That's Damon Baird, who's moved on to another property, so we wish Damon good luck, and we thank Blaine for agreeing to take his place. This will go on till March 2nd, 2025, and then we can reevaluate Blaine again at that point. So I'll make that recommendation. All in favor? Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, now we're down to, earlier we inserted here after these appointments, the Second Amendment to the interlocal agreement. You have that has come to you now. LaGrange Utilities and MSD have reached an agreement where LaGrange Utilities will assume operations and control of and ownership of the Lakewood Valley sewage treatment plant and the Greenwood, or the Green Valley water treatment plant, and those are all part of the Oldham County Sanitation District that transferred from Fiscal Court to MSD. Just in July 1 of 2 years ago. So we're an incidental party to this agreement since we were the agreement with MSD to take those plants from us at that point, and now they're transferring them to LaGrange Utilities in a friendly exchange of agreements and assets and so forth. I believe our county attorney has approved this document and provided it all to us here. So if there's a motion to go forward with this, I'll accept it at this point.
So moved. Second.
Second, all right. Is there any discussion on this? Magistrate Tice.
Nice. As I was reading through this, and maybe Barry, you can help me with this, what reason does the county need to act on this? Where do we have a dog in this fight or any security holding?
I don't think you have much of any. I think the only reason you have to act on it is that you are a party to the initial interlocal agreement, and you are a party to the First Amendment to the Interlocal Cooperation Agreement. And so as a party, you are ratifying this amendment to this interlocal cooperation agreement. Really, the two stakeholders that are involved are MSD and the city of LaGrange.
Judge, I have a question.
Rather safe than sorry.
They asked to sign off on it, so Judge sent it to me on Thursday afternoon. And Judge, I do apologize. I emailed you yesterday about this, but my email is in the outbox, so you didn't get it.
I find some of mine there too, believe me.
Thank you.
All right, I think to answer Magistrate Tice's question, you've hit it right. We were a party to the interlocal agreement when MSD took the sewer district. The sewer district went out of business. Fiscal Court inherited what was left of it. We entered into agreement with MSD to take these, so that was part of our agreement with them. They're altering that agreement at this point, so we're asked to sign off on it. We really don't have, maybe we've got a fraction of a dog's tail in this, not much more.
That's fine.
I have a question.
All right, Magistrate Logston.
I wasn't given the agreement, so I guess I wasn't important enough to get it, but.
No problem. We've
That
got
was not the
one
question
wound up
is-
on my desk here.
Can a city own a portion of something that they don't control? I mean, Lakewood Valley is not in the city limits of.
Part of the agreement is that they're changing their boundaries. And it's not, it's an odd situation, but it's not the city, it's LaGrange Utilities.
Okay, so LaGrange City Utilities is not the city of LaGrange.
Well, it's a separate
Okay.
entity, and in the agreement, there's discussion about changing their boundaries.
Okay.
So they're going to amend the boundary that they serve. They serve things outside. It has to do with the size. You may remember it has to do with the size of their sewage treatment plant. When they got some federal money, I think, to increase the size of that, and when they did that, they had to agree that they would serve other areas outside of the incorporated limits of the city of LaGrange.
Okay, thank you.
Judge, with the passing of this document here, basically they're just two sewer people now, MSD and LaGrange Utilities now in Oldham County. There's no more private plant. Maybe something, doesn't the MSD take care of the reformatory? Do they own that?
Yes, right. MSD
So
does.
we just got two now. We don't have all this other.
Two, right.
Come a long way.
Right, we've come a long way, right, in the last 30 years. So, all right, we've got a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Time now for our second public comment. Does anyone come in who would like to address the fiscal court? All right, seeing no one, we'll close public comment and we'll head toward the end of our meeting. See if Magistrate Logston has any comments today.
I'm just, to follow up on Bob Rogers' comment, my whole comment was basically information travels so fast right now that you really can't keep anything from the public anymore. So I think Bob's whole point was, it's just best to get it on out there. Let everybody know. You don't have to give details, but just let everybody know what was going on. I think that's where Bob was coming from. But I want to apologize to anybody that might have been upset in Pee Wee Valley. I mean, this thing got so out of hand so fast. My car was sitting in my parking lot at the office, and somebody wrote on it, "Need more police in Pee Wee Valley." So, I mean, it really upset a lot of people. I guess other people in the county didn't even know anything was going on. But, I'll just say, we're going to do better. Everything, hindsight's 20/20, and we'll move on from here.
Right, this was a localized event. It was, I thought, handled really very well. I mean, we had a tremendous amount of law enforcement and the public safety, other public safety people there, the drone team. I mean, a lot went into trying to just apprehend a person, and I think, I won't say he wasn't dangerous, I don't know, but he was apprehended without a problem once he was seen. So he didn't put up a fight that I've been told about. He just, accepted custody, by our people. But it's sure, things happen, and we all learn. That's we're all here to learn better for tomorrow by anything that didn't go exactly that we wanted. But really, in the long run, it did go the way. We captured the guy, got him off the street, and he was identified by our cameras that we have on the lookout for stolen cars coming in the county. Spotted him right away. Police responded immediately, and he ran, and it developed into situations, I said earlier, that I've never seen before happen exactly like that in the county. So,
Well, again, I'd like to thank the sheriff's department and the police department. I mean, they were really out in full force. It really was a great show. Or not a show, but a show of force.
right, we had 9 county officers there, 3 sheriff's deputies, and others. I know Pee Wee was there when there was a Pee Wee fire there.
The drone team.
The drone team was there, and there were well-meaning individuals around too that, I don't know if they should have been or shouldn't have been, but they were, a problem draws people who want to help. Magistrate Dye.
Just wanted to tell people that this is spring break. There are a lot of people on the road. If you've probably already gone, you won't hear this till you get back. But for us that's staying here, be careful. There's a lot of other little ones that stayed here, and so be careful in your neighborhoods and watch your speed and try to be as safe a driver as you can. Thank you.
Magistrate Hawkins.
I wanted to also elaborate a little bit as far as my district is concerned on what Magistrate Logsden was talking about. And I think the key is communication. And I'll send out an email later this afternoon to just request increased communication of goings-on in District 6. But I just wanted to say it here publicly as well. That's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Magistrate Hounds.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge. We had weather that moved in this morning. Thankfully, it wasn't much more than some rain and some heavy winds, and there may be some more weather that comes through tonight. It's a great opportunity, if you haven't, to sign up for Smart 911. It gives out automated weather alerts. Once the National Weather Service issues those alerts, then it automatically comes through our Smart 911 system. And there are people that don't want to sign up for Smart 911, and that's fine. You can get on Amazon and purchase a weather radio. They're about $20-25, and put a battery in it. Doesn't necessarily have to be plugged into the wall, and it will also alert you of impending weather that could be in our area. Thank you.
Thank you. Magistrate Jeffries.
Yes, sir. A couple, three things here. They got a medicine buyback or take back or whatever, drug take back. It's going to be April 27th, 3 locations: the Grange Fire Department, Station 2, Oldham County Police Department at Buckner, and then Kroger at LaGrange on South Highway 53. The times are going to be from 10 to 2. So if anybody's got any old drugs that they no longer are taking or whatever, this is a good opportunity to get those disposed of correctly. This week, and I'm not sure how the weather has affected this or whatever, but they're repaving Zale Smith Road out here just on 53, just south of LaGrange a little bit. So just be aware, the folks that are in that area, that they were scheduled to pave from Monday through Friday to try to get that done before school starts again next week. So just be aware that there'll probably be some delays on Zale Smith. And we had a Highway 53 realignment meeting that the KYTC District 5 put on this past week out at the LaGrange Presbyterian Church. We had a big crowd there. It's probably 160 to 180 folks that were there, and with a lot of questions and a lot of concerns about what that is going to mean from they're proposing to realign Highway 53 from Zale Smith Road all the way out to Hannah Road, which is in Ballardsville there on 53. So anyway, a lot of questions, a lot of concerns that folks in the area have. So as this process moves forward, I'll certainly try to keep everybody informed of that. And this is an ongoing process, and so it's not going to happen tomorrow or whatever. But just want to make everybody aware of that realignment that's being proposed for Highway 53.
Judge,
That's all, Judge.
Can I say something right there?
Okay.
I would like to thank Kevin for taking the bull by the horns here and putting this meeting on. I know he caught a lot of grief for it and all. He was just a messenger. He's not the state or the county, the state road department, or he's not making the road. He's not doing anything. He was just trying to keep people informed. And, I'm sorry you got beat up so bad.
All right.
The messenger
Part of the job.
sometimes takes all the heat. So thank you for putting that out there for people.
No problem.
Right, you notice I wasn't there.
Smart move.
I had something else to do right at that time, yeah. Magistrate Woosley.
Nothing that already been mentioned, sir.
All right, thank you. Magistrate Tice.
Nothing, Judge. Thank you.
Magistrate Likens.
Last but not least, just want to say we're having a meeting involving Victory Lane, which is a road at the end of 1793. It's in no man's land. It's between the county-maintained portion of 1793 and the Ohio River. We have a subdivision, we have Rose Island Yacht Club, we have a business, several houses on a private street that use this, but it is not a county-maintained road. So we're having this meeting to, number one, try to find out how do we get the right-of-way in order to take this road into the county system. And number two, Jim Silliman is doing a cost estimate, so we'll know exactly what kind of money we're talking about. The meeting will be Tuesday, April the 16th, 6:30 p.m. at the North Oldham Fire Department. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Tuesday, April 16th, okay. Yes. All right, we got that.
You
All
got
right.
something to do that day, don't you, Judge?
Pardon?
You got something to do that day, don't you, Judge?
I think so. Yeah.
I just had a mental.
Okay, we bought, our bicentennial year, we've got a bunch of flags. We're going to put flags on all our county buildings that have flag poles, but if you're connected to an organization in the community that, or a business even that has a flag pole, we'd be happy to talk with you about having a bicentennial flag fly from your pole. I'd appreciate reimbursement for those. It's only $85, but, I can have my arm twisted, I guess, if you can't come up with that, but we'd like to get them out there for the bicentennial. I want to welcome a new business to our community. It's an existing business that's been purchased. The Rawlings Company is now owned by a private equity firm in New York called New Mountain Capital. We don't know much about New Mountain Capital. It's a big international business with, I believe, about $40 billion under assets. We welcome them to our community, and we'll help them succeed here. And we certainly hope that they will maintain and grow the business that they already have in LaGrange. But that's the name of the new owner of the Rawlings Company, is New Mountain Capital. So if you want to look it up on the internet, learn something about it, that's how you'll be able to do it. With that, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.